so many people, we might have to stand up. Can you guys see at the back?
Yeah, that's fine.
No, yeah, we're going to
I've been sitting on there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Nikki, can we have the music on, please?
This is the first Comic-Con where I've seen Arcane cosplay like this level.
Oh, really?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Yeah. I like it. Get used to it. This is the rest of your lives now. Everywhere you go, blue hair will be following you around.
Well, not me.
Oh no, you don't. Do you?
No, Jinx
Jinx
is
is
blue
blue
hair.
hair. I still think I like blue hair following around. I feel like blue is Caitlyn's colour though.
It is, but a different shade of blue.
Oh, is it specific blue?
Yeah, it's not Jinx blue.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Jinx blue does sound like a...
I mean, Jinx, can you see the whites?
Yeah.
That's a different shade.
Victor's got his own blue as well. It's a whole...
Oh my god!
Is Victor blue as well?
Well, in certain stages of his journey, yeah, you also got royal blue, there's acid blue,
Acid. That's
Jinx, and
Jinx.
mine is more like twilight blue.
What would you call this? Turquoise?
I mean, we've gone straight into Arcane, which is great. It's just because it's so huge now. Do you get this a lot? Like when you're inserting your faces in it, obviously you get that following you around a lot. Do you ever get recognised for Arcane? Or is it quite nice to be sort of?
I think it's a sign of Arcane's popularity that I have now on the street a couple of times been stopped by people who only know me as Victor. And that means that you love the show enough that you've looked up the face of the guy who does the voice. And that's not normal. But I love being recognised as Victor. I think that's a great testament to the show. And Arcane fans, I don't know about yours, are lovely. And it's nice when you can agree with them rather than being like this show that I did that's very popular. No, it's great. And it's lovely that people are still talking about it and there's so many more stories still to tell. No, I've made loads of great friends doing it.
Yeah. No, same. I don't get recognised personally. And also because I have a different, well actually you've got a different accent as well. But Wow, why are you laughing?
I'd forgotten, I was like, oh yeah, I do actually. I don't know.
No, but the kind of tonally, it's kind of similar to your own pictures.
Yes. We have the same gentleness, but we come from different places.
Have either of you had much voiceover experience before this? Had you voiced any other characters?
I've done a couple of like children's animations, some audiobooks, so I felt like I had, enough
What
experience.
children's animations?
What was it called?
SpongeBob.
SpongeBob? I wish. No, you have to check out IMDb, I don't know, but it's like it's based in the UK, and I play like a bratty little schoolgirl.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, that's you. Yeah, we always say that's you. Yeah. Typecast. When you do voice work, how much direction do they give you to find the voice? Like, is there like a sort of like, this is the sort of thing we want, or will you just sort of freeball it and you go, I think this is the voice?
They were very specific about what they wanted. I don't know about you, but it was like every time I had a Caitlyn line, Christian and Alex would give me like an essay before I did the take on why she says it and where she is emotionally, and it was amazing because you never get that kind of direction like when you're doing theatre or film. It was actually, it was just really nuanced. So I felt, and with voice as well, you can try so many different ways to do it. There's no like kind of time limit that you get when you're on like a TV set. So we just tried it loads of times, but I felt like they always knew how they wanted it.
I would say the same. I think we got a lot more detail for animation than any other animation job I've done. And you need that essay from Christian and Alex first of all, because the first time you record it, you're probably just looking at a very basic animatic, this bit from episode 6, And I haven't been in for 5 months, and I was like, yeah, which one's episode 6 again? And they're like, well, okay, so Caitlyn's doing this, and Warwick and Vander, and Victor's kind of moved to a different plane of being. And I'm like, oh yeah, plane of being. But they take you straight back in, and then it's like a cross between a play rehearsal and recording an album, because you just give them, I used to just give them all kinds of crap, and I'd be like, oh, let me give you something else, this is really weird, and just throw it in. And they take it all. And actually I was in Paris recently and I saw Christian. I visited Fortiche and I'd never been there and they hadn't met any of us. And I met the people who took all of our mistakes and had a camera on us and and then had a Victor face and were playing with it, had a mirror next to him, and you realise how it all comes together in 1,000 tiny little bits, and we're just one layer. And once you get the voice, then you can do this, and then you talk to the guy who does the wind in the hair. And then, the level of detail is extraordinary. But at every level, people were just super geeky and brilliant at what they do at every fucking level, which is why the show is what it is.
Yeah.
I've never seen animation like it. Like, it is absolutely blew my mind. Like, it is next. I mean, I messaged you when I finished it. I was like, oh my god, this is so good.
Yeah.
Like, it blew me away. And like, for you guys, like, when did you start the job and when did you finish it? It's like, that blew my mind then, just used it fucking 5 months apart.
Yeah, sometimes. I think my first episode is episode 2 of season 1. So I got the part in about 2014 or 15 or something. No, between 16 and 17. Then I have children, I've lost all track of fucking time. But I remember that I went in for my first session, I was in LA actually, and I went to the Riot Studios compound. It's like a university of buildings. And they went into their Skywalker cinema screening room, and they showed me episode 1, which was already basically done as a standalone pilot. And I was like, what is that? And they were like, okay, so do you want to record your bit for the next 2 years? And I was like, yes. And I didn't really know what I wandered into. I knew the game was very popular, and they liked my take that I did. I had no idea. And then everyone just ups their game. When you see the animation, and everyone, I just felt improves everybody else.
Yeah.
But it was, I didn't see anything like it.
Yeah, I did, so I sent in a tape, and then they asked me to go in for an audition to meet Christian and Alex. But at the time I was about to fly to LA for pilot season, so I was going to spend a whole month out there. And I was like, oh god, I'm not going to be able to make this audition because I'm flying out to LA. And then they were like, oh, they're actually based in LA. So, I was just, lucky that they were there and then I was going out. So I met them there and did my thing. And then I heard shortly afterwards I didn't get the part. Yeah, so originally, I don't know, maybe they had cast someone else. But it was only, I think it was like several months later that they then got in touch again to say, oh, you're Caitlyn. And I was like, oh, that's a nice surprise. So it wasn't me originally.
Oh, I wonder who turned it down.
Yeah. The original Caitlyn was like, oh, Caitlyn, how are you doing? Yeah. And it just didn't work. It just didn't work.
I bet she regrets it now.
Yeah. It's a bad choice. Yeah. I just said in voice notes, it's a very bad system to work with actually. Just to let you guys know, in a minute we are going to let you ask questions, so you have something, we will get hands up in a second, because we don't have you guys for long, which is very sad. We've got to let you go if that happens. But, I was going to say, you go.
Well, because I got very excited because, Kate, you've been here before.
Yes, I have.
And we had a great time.
We did.
And you and your friend, while you were in Brussels, went on a beer tour. Would you like to tell everyone what happened on that beer tour?
No!
And was not everything. The overall outcome.
Yes, of course. I went on a beer tour with my friends, Hamish, my best mate, and I met my partner. Yes, and we have a baby now. So thank you, Brussels Comic-Con.
The thing is, she's actually got a husband from every Comic-Con she goes to.
She's got so many babies now.
Yeah. Secret families. Have you got questions, guys? Because I get a feeling we're going to have quite a lot. We have a microphone, you have to help each other out, we'll try and get it around, and then we'll get you two first.
Are you feeling fantastic?
Okay, fantastic.
My question is, don't get Victor and Caitlyn to interact in the show, but actually we're Jason's best friends. So how do you think the relationship to each other would be?
Oh, if Victor and Caitlyn had some scene time together, which we don't, how would that go? Yeah, good question.
I think they'd be best mates.
I think they go on great, actually. I think we kind of take care of the two tricky sisters. Like,
Yeah.
I think we, in a way, we're the quite responsible spine of the show in some ways.
Yeah, they have like a similar energy.
I think so.
You know, they're quite
You have
They're
reserved,
quite serious.
Yeah.
They're quite earnest and
quite gentle,
gentle. That's true.
or seemingly gentle.
Yeah. I'd say they're kind of precision fighters. They're not like blow up everyone. They're going to take out who they need.
Mm-hmm.
No, good question. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I just finished the show yesterday. Over the year. Yes. And it's more for Mr. Lloyd. Question, so you've done characters like Charles Xavier, Bernard Marx, and now Victor as well. So from these different characters, what do you feel going into the job? What do you feel getting into that character?
Get into the character of Victor. Well, it's a very different process. Like you say, you do quite an intense kind of afternoon every few months, and you see some animation, and sometimes it'll be, oh, now the scene, you're further away, so can you shout that line? And sometimes it's a brand new bit, so it's quite discombobulating. So what you kind of base it on are these big conversations you have with the creator, and you kind of build your own world, and then you just customize it to each session. But for Victor, it was all about this journey. I mean, I didn't know much about the game, but when I looked it up, I was like, that doesn't look like my Victor.
Yeah.
He's a robot. So it was all about tracking this process. And what was great for me is that they took care of a lot of the digitalization, the metallicization of his voice. For me, it was always just about where is he at emotionally, and that changes when your body is, not made of blood vessels. Do your emotions change? And we decided in the end that no, actually, with Victor, it's still always in his heart something very human, even if it's somewhat detached. So it was really, for me, a fascinating exploration, as deep as anything I've done on screen, on stage, frankly. But yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Thanks.
I said this to you earlier, because it's 2 seasons, your character arcs are so huge in quite a compressed amount of time. Is that quite a hard shuffle to deal with, or is it something, like you say, the notes help and everything else? Because your characters go through so much, which would normally take 6 seasons.
I remember them telling me that Caitlyn was going to have her arc, her journey, because I feel like especially in the first season, there wasn't much agency, there wasn't much kind of activism on her part. She was just kind of going with the flow, whatever Vi was doing, she seemed to be there. But then, season 2, she really takes it into her own hands, like her story. So I felt like I was kind of mentally prepared to go there. And actually, it's a breath of fresh air, when you get to go from someone who's quite reserved and whatever, because that comes naturally to me, to then kind of go full pelt villain, if that's what you think she is. But yeah, so I really enjoyed the experience. I find it challenging, but more in scenes where I had to do, efforts, breath efforts, I find them quite challenging because you have to do it over and over again. But everything else is just like Harry said, it has to just come from a really authentic place, and you can always find something that you can connect your kind of personal life to with, whatever Caitlyn's going through. Yeah.
Great answers today, guys. Very good answers in this too, yeah. We got a microphone here, yeah.
Hi, I have a question for Harry. I was wondering what the
first thing was that spoke to you about Victor?
You can't say his name, we have to censor it.
What was the first thing that spoke to me about Victor? Well, like I said, the first thing that stands out is, okay, how's he going to get from there to there? But then the more I got into it, the thing that really spoke to me was actually about the way that he did it. And it wasn't until we finished it, and actually until I really saw it, that I really fully understand actually where he's been. And I guess this is probably a crowd spoiler alert, is okay.
I think a lot of the series was in it.
When Christian told me, I think just before we started doing season 2, that I am me, and then I was like, oh, and then for me, before I even started season 2, I realized well, season 2 was actually, a lot of people get a slightly bigger journey, but Victor has this whole other thing that kind of takes care of everything, and I was like, that's cool.
When they dropped that on me, I was proud. I was going,
me too. And again, it's one of those secrets that obviously you can't tell anyone, but also God, it took me about 20 minutes to explain why this is significant with the time travel and so it's great that now it's out, and I just thought that was such a wonderful piece of storytelling and a perfect way for him to kind of get integrated into all of it.
Have you guys watched it? Do you watch it? Yeah.
I mean, we watched the last 3 episodes at the premiere in New York with 5,000 people in the theatre. Every reference was being whooped and cheered.
Yeah.
There was a certain scene in the final episode when you're in a jail cell, I believe.
Definitely.
You couldn't it was.
I thought the roof was gonna come off.
It was slightly uncomfortable.
It was insane. Yeah.
It was extraordinary.
I've never seen an animation that captures so much energy. Like the soundtrack, the different animation styles. Like it's so
And to see it in a cinema is great because the sound is dolby. It's all around you. In fact, the first season premiere, they designed this double-sided screen inside a dome the size of this room. And every time it was raining, it would be raining inside the dome. And when the hex core went off, lightning flashed around it. And there were 2 audiences watching one. You're like, oh, this is where the money is from movies when it's in video games. This just proves that this is like a premiere that no one in Hollywood can even do that. Why games just do it in their back garden because they exist at another scale. It was amazing. Were you there for that one? Were you in there?
I was giving birth. Same thing, really.
Yeah, when you gave birth, there's a screen. It's quite intense.
I'm not doing it anymore unless I get a dome.
I need 5,000 people in a dome, okay? Who's got the microphone? What's our next question?
My question is to Kate. So you already mentioned that the season 2 was an extra challenge for Caitlyn's journey. So her arc was so complex and there was a lot of repressed emotion, repressed core values. Did you feel by the end that she couldn't get out of that? Because you see in the last moment she barely survived.
Yeah.
Did you feel she started her healing, or was it just the moment when she was still quite lost? So where did you leave her?
I'm in 2 minds. I certainly don't think there's any real conclusion to where she is. If anything, it's probably just the beginning of her healing. And maybe the reason is because they want to continue her journey, some point in the future, who knows. But yeah, I think that's why it's such a great show because, people have so many different interpretations of where she's at. With all the other characters as well. So, but for me personally, I don't think it was. It's not complete, certainly. And that question that she says to Vi at the very end, "Are you still in this fight?" I'm not sure she believes that Vi is. I think there's a part of her that's still questioning. Thanks.
Let's try and share the microphone around. Whoever's showing behind you as well. We will try and get as many as possible, and then we'll bring it forward, and you can come back. Thank you.
Since the characters
so realistic. As you said, the arcs are so developed and complex. What part of your characters do you think resonates with you yourselves the most?
Look at that. You both look deep, man.
Yeah, that's so deep. But actually, I feel like, you know, Caitlyn's, I think, constantly conflicted about. I mean, she's a justice warrior. You know, she's all about, you know.
You love justice.
I love justice.
Yeah.
But also I'm very aware of my privilege, like she is. And sometimes, like, you know, you wanna make the most of your privilege, but at the same time, you know, when people say, well, you know, you're very privileged, I kind of, I don't know, what am I saying? What am I trying to say?
No, I know what you mean about in terms of it, especially like you're saying the difference between the season 1 Caitlyn and season 2 Caitlyn. You see where she's from and she's trapped in it, and that's not who she is, but that's what seems to define her. And yet then you actually see what she's capable of only when she gets out of the kind of gilded cage that you're born in privilege, you kind of have to deal with it somehow.
Yes, thank you.
Right?
Yeah, that. Yeah. So it's like what you do with your privilege. And she, I guess, turns it into, you know, takes advantage of that rather than sits and wallows in it.
Caitlyn's an interesting thing with that privilege. She doesn't necessarily need to have that passion in that fight because she's got a comfortable life. So that's a very interesting, because the lower people, they're fighting because they have nothing and they have everything, whereas you come from a place of everything.
Yeah.
So that justice is comparing. I found that a really interesting way to look at her character as someone who has that morality to them, who feels this fight is for them.
Yeah.
Which I don't think any other character. But again, all your characters have such individual agendas and motivations. It's so deep in all of them. Very good. Big fan, guys, big fan.
Thank you.
What's the thing that you enjoyed on the flip side of that as actors? What's the part of your characters you like stepping into that isn't yourselves? Is there something that, like, their characteristic you wish you had yourself?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of fly, I kind of like that.
You can't fly?
No, I used to.
Did they know this when they hired you?
Yeah. David Blaine trick. The old David Blaine trick all the time.
I mean, I don't know about you, but it's quite nice, especially when it's audio, doing an accent that's not your own. Because you don't even have your body, it's just your voice. It's actually quite liberating. I quite like that there's actually, you can really then get lost in it, especially because Victor's accent, quite honestly, is completely made up. And it's just my comfortable Czech, Russian, and ish. It's just how I like it.
Would you have getting phrases?
Sorry?
I know some voiceover people have a phrase to get into their voice. Or could you just drop into it?
With Victor, it was like I just had to suddenly go very quiet. He's always, my microphone was always. As soon as I look up, there's something about looking up. And I just see he's just always looking up at the stars or something. And as soon as I see him like that, and I can hear the voice. But someone asked me just now at the table to do like the voice. I couldn't really do it. I've got to practice.
Yeah, it's funny that, because even though it is liberating because you don't have to worry about your face as much, like you still have to be within a certain distance to the microphone and you can't really move that much. So when it comes to like the kind of fight scenes and the screaming and the shouting, you have, and the running as well, it's like you just have to kind of pretend being out of breath. So that's kind of restrictive sometimes. But I do really enjoy. What was your question?
Yeah, there's a part of you that you enjoy. A part of Kate that you enjoy, like it's not a part of you.
Oh yeah, the height. She's very tall, and also, you know, she's she's so cool, you know, with her gun. And people give me credit for it, and I'm like, but it's not me. Yeah.
So the thing that you wish you had that your character has is a gun.
Gun and some pipe. Yeah.
Where's the microphone? Yeah, we got a question here that is coming round slow.
It's a question for the both of you. So if you were to choose a different Arcane character to voice, which one would it be and why?
Want to swap?
Yes. Oh, I couldn't do yours though.
I can do yours.
Try it.
Yours is much
Try it
harder than
now.
mine.
No, it's not.
No, that's not fair. I think yours is much harder than mine. I think Caitlyn's really complicated. I think no, you smashed that. I would do, and I would find Caitlyn quite hard. I'd like to do a Heimerdinger maybe.
Oh, yeah. What would that sound like?
Like Russian Heimerdinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it for you now, but I'm going to release. I'll release an album.
He just sings. That's his thing.
Yeah, with this little banjo.
Yeah, it's great. Great.
I would choose Maddie.
Oh.
You know, because she's
No one expected that reaction.
she's Scottish, so that's easy. But also, I think that was a great character.
Yeah.
She's got a brilliant art.
Yeah.
You know, and Katie who plays her, she's brilliant. Yeah.
Good answer.
I've got a question, just want to remember.
Yeah, well, keep the microphone moving just so we can. So we got a question.
So often we get.
We're going to have to start sending it towards the stage, sorry. But yeah, because we're really...
Can we get over this side of it?
Yeah, we will. I'll get to you.
Yeah.
You can get our last question. Yeah.
So often we get actors who talk about a day on a normal set, but we don't tend to get voice actors that much. Could you just describe to us what a typical day recording would be like? Because it's so alien to most of us.
Yeah, so I mean it's different for different audio jobs, but this one, which was not normal, you'll get an email saying like, what's your availability end of April, which is a few months away, but I can do these days, and you're like, okay, can we get you for 2, 4, 6 hours that day? We're going to do a bit from episode 4 and a bit from episode 6. And then you go into the studio, wherever I did someone I was filming in Germany, I did someone I was in Chichester, in London, or wherever you happen to be working, they'll find a studio, and then they'll be on Zoom, and you'll get Christian or Alex. There's a director for season 2 specifically just for actors. Sometimes one other person, and we'll talk about it, and you'll see the lines and the stuff, and we'll just do it kind of cue by cue. And you'll give them a whole bunch for that line, and sometimes they'll be able to show you a scene, and you're like, oh, that looks really cool. They're like, oh, that's not even finished yet, and you're like, oh, amazing. And it's just quite kind of bitty. But sometimes you get a whole scene, and the other guy has recorded it, so you get to hear, oh, Jason's already done this bit. And sometimes you're the first to go, but you're never with another actor.
That's crazy.
I've not met Haley or Ella.
What?
I've never met them.
Wow.
Yeah, it's mad.
Do they even?
I think so. They were at the premiere when you were giving birth.
And here they are.
That's crazy. How do you do emotional scenes when you don't have that person to react to?
Yeah, I mean, art director, I feel like, you know, you get people who kind of give you nothing, but the directors we had on Arcane were generally very, just very skilled.
It was not technical, it was very, like being in a theatre, so we were talking about all sorts of stuff. And you could go, oh wait, can I try this? They're like, give it a go, and you would adjust it. It was really collaborative.
Oh wow.
And you get great stuff from every person. You get, every now and again, you get a really weird day. Like the first time you see when Huck talks with Victor's voice, do you remember that bit in season 2? With his eyes and all that? They were like, oh, we got the guy from Huck speaking in your cadences. So he was studying Harry's voice and he did a pass like this, and then I studied his voice for a bit, and we kind of met in the middle, but we never met. And they kind of digitally entwined both our recordings, and they would just do stuff like that. I was called back in for season 1 for that bit where Victor was running down the pier, and he screamed to the end of it, and they were like, well, now we're in the music mix. This song for the next scene starts on a C, so can we get your scream to come up 1 pitch, because then it'll blend in with the music? And you're like, kidding me? Yes, I'll do that. And the guy in LA played a piano, and me in London tried to shout a C so they could blend it in. That's the level of detail they were working on.
That's mind-blowing.
Yeah, I've never heard of that before.
No.
These people are ridiculous. Yeah.
Good. It's clever. We're going to have to let you go, so we have some questions down here.
What was your favorite scene to film? Record.
Great question. I really like that bit at the end of episode 6 when everyone has been in that huge fight and Vander and Isha and all that lot, and Victor has that voiceover, which again, not until I fully saw it, I completely understand the significance of it. And I just loved what we did loads of passes on that kind of speech. And our greatest evil and our greatest good. And it just sets up the whole final act of the show. That's the first one I thought. I mean, there were loads, but that was a really special one.
Oh god, I have loads as well. But I've just got the prison scene in my head. Just yeah, and I remember when I was recording it, they played the soundtrack. And because sometimes they just use like just any old soundtrack, you know, it's not the official one, just, you know, for, you know, the time being while they find the actual one. And I remember thinking, oh my god, I really hope it's this one. So they were playing that as I was doing the noises.
That's amazing, they already had it down. All the songs, season 1 for the soundtrack, they would ask people, by season 2, all of the artists pretty much involved came to Riot and asked if they could be in it. And they said, yes, but this is the sequence, and you've got to write the song to the sequence. And all of them were like, that's why they fit. And I just remind all these people, these songs were written for that moment.
It's honestly the soundtrack, as I said.
Yeah.
The Imagine Dragons song was one of my biggest played songs last year. Just was in my head for about.
Can you do the rap?
Yeah, but we're running out of time, guys. Unfortunately. We're gonna have time for one last question, just behind you, and then we are. Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, we got to that. Sorry, I didn't know.
At the very end, when everybody was like affected by the Arcane with the white stripes at the end, did everybody at the whole world get affected, or only Piltover?
Great question. Super great question.
And now the pressure on you to
I really don't know the answer. I don't know enough about the worlds beyond Zorn and Piltover because I don't know enough about the rest of the game. I kind of geeked out massively on the world that Christian and Alex kind of sold to us. And I kind of read into the lore of it, but only as a kind of tourist. So I shouldn't even speak to that. But I'm aware that that's a very good question.
Oh, very good. We're gonna have to wrap up. Sorry, I'm very sorry, everyone. We only have you for a limited time. Guys, it is our first ever, and I'm going to say our greatest Arcane panel. Let them know how you feel. Kate and Harry are only here today. Oh.
Can we have a photo with you holding an alien? Can we have a photo with you guys?
They're here in their booth, so just don't see them. Yeah, otherwise everyone will want a photo. We have to be diplomatic, I'm afraid. But we will get a photo with. We're going to get a photo with everyone in. So if you want to get your alien in the middle of it, I will hold it. There you go. You got your phone back? No, mine's charging. Now the awkward bit, right? Oh, perfect. You got your phone, and you hold it in front of them very quickly.
I can't touch it legally.
You can't legally touch it. Okay, everyone, we're gonna get a photo. Make your best Arcane faces. Agent Harry, everyone!